Hey guys, this is Kroger from Crow Archery and Motorcycle Adventures, and just this morning when I was laying in bed, I got to thinking about a really cool uh, comparison of things. Okay, and as you can tell, I'm holding two arrows. All right, they're both 400 spine arrows. This one has these uh, flu fletchings on them, and what these arrows are, what these fletchings are designed to do is to shoot at flying targets or birds, for example. Okay, and this is a 400 spine shaft with no fletching on it. Okay, and the reason for that is it's a technique or a precision tuning technique known as bear shaft tuning. And what that is whenever, like, if you take this arrow, or if I take this arrow and I shoot it out of one of my bows, and I shoot it at the target, whenever I shoot it at it, it appears as if it's flying really great, and I'm able to hit the center and all of that. But when you strip the fletchings off of it and you leave it as this bare shaft, this right here, reality. This is what's going to show you if that arrow is right for your bow. Okay, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to get it to enter the target, and if you're a right-hand shooter, it's going to be cocked out to the left whenever it hits the target to indicate that it's slightly weak. And how to straighten it is you slowly start cutting off pieces of the arrow, where eventually it'll start doing this. Well, here's the thing about that. How prevalent that is with people, especially your love life. Okay? Here's the thing. The majority of people, go to Walmart or their local sporting goods store and they buy an arrow that's like this, and then they take it home and they shoot it out of their bow, and they're like, yes, it's awesome, it works, I've got confidence, I can kill I can kill a deer or a turkey or whatever. And while yes, there's a lot of success, in doing that, if it wasn't so successful in that regard, then people wouldn't be able to do that. Okay? But here's the thing. So there's a YouTube channel that I follow. The channel's called Ranch Fairy. Alright, and the guy is actually quite funny in my opinion. He really reminds me of my stepdad's personality, and I highly respect that. A lot of people hate on him because of, I guess, just the way that he delivers the message. But the thing is, what he's doing is he's trying to help people become better archers by teaching them about penetration and how important that is with perfect arrow flight to quickly and humanely take whatever game animal it is that you are pursuing. Okay? And how that is in relation to life, I would say, is like I said, you go to the store, the majority of people go to the store, they'll buy these arrows, and they'll go out in their backyard and they'll shoot them, and they'll think, oh, well, I'm good to go because they went to the store and bought anything that you can buy off the shelf. Okay? But here's the reality. Do you know how many people in life that you date or that you come across as prospects for dating are literally like this? It looks pretty, okay? And you go outside and shoot it and it works, okay? But the thing is, it's not perfect arrow flight, okay? And perfect arrow flight is what is needed for maximum penetration. No pun intended, okay? But in order to break through anything, you have to have the arrow flying truly perfect. Whenever an arrow is coming, sideways in any way, shape, or form versus going completely straight and perfect, all of these things are creating resistance, okay? And it causes problems. What do you know? People do that too, especially, if it's not the right arrow, okay? Or the wrong spine. And the thing is, like I said, as the man with Ranch Fairy says, don't be upset by the results that you don't get for the work that you didn't do. That's an old saying, but That is so true. Okay? I recently have had a lot of problems with bear shaft tuning my lower pound Satori limbs because I'm used to, a heavier draw weight. And whenever you go down even lower in draw weight, lower draw weight bows really emphasize your form and the mistakes and the flaws that are in your form. Okay? So you'll see all the places that you're messing up, like your release or your follow through or, things of the sort. And the thing is, while this looks pretty and it looks appealing, okay, and it's appealing because, oh, hey, it's ready to go. Here it is. All I got to do is buy it, take it home, shoot it, and then there I've got success. When in all actuality, you ended up wasting a lot of time and money and effort because it's not flying correctly, truly perfect arrow flight. Okay? And cutting off the bits of the arrow is kind of relevant to people out here in the world. Okay? People out here in the world that have been through it and have gone through it have literally at one point in their life been weak. Okay? But the experiences that they have in life have cut off pieces of themselves to where it looks as if, oh, well, I've had to cut off pieces of arrow so it gets shorter. But the thing is, it lines itself out to go into perfect arrow flight. Okay? And again, how can you be upset with the results that you don't get from the work that you did not do? That is a life-changing quote. That is awesome. And it's the truth. Okay? Yes, doing this process is frustrating. Yes, having to go through and check to see, oh, well, if it's weak, and you got to go get your arrow saw, you got to cut off a piece of it, and then you got to put the insert back in if you don't cut it from the knock-in, which is the most logical thing to do. And yes, it takes time, but again, putting the time and effort and the work into doing something, especially yourself, because you can look at yourself like this arrow shaft, okay? And you have to put the time and dedication into, boom, getting that perfect arrow flight. Okay? You see what I'm saying? Because the problem is, if you go out here in this world with an arrow like this that has not been bear shaft tuned, including yourself, if you are not in tune with yourself, like this arrow is with that bow, okay, you're going to end up doing a lot of this. You're going to hit problems and you're just going to get stuck and stagnant instead of continuously going through them. All right. Same with if it's too stiff, like if you're too rigid. Okay. If you're too rigid, you're intimidating. Well, either way, guess what? Boom. It runs into those problems. If you're weak, okay, boom, you hit something, you hit a problem. All right. So the perfect point is trying to find the balance in the middle. And once you find the balance in the middle, that arrow is going to go completely straight through. All right? So I know that it's kind of a weird analogy, but it's the truth when you think about it. Like I said, you have to put in the work. Okay? If you don't put in the work, then how can you expect to achieve your perfect arrow flight or your goals? You won't. Because if you think that you can literally just go out here and jump on a regular bandwagon train of, buying this kind of arrow or buying some run-of-the-mill expandable broadheads, which expandable broadheads in theory are cool, but that's about as far as it goes. There's too many known failures of mechanical broadheads in my mind, for them to continue to be produced. Like I said, it was cool, it was a step forward, but it's not truly as efficient as a cut-on contact blade. All right, which leads to the next thing. The big three are 3 blades, 2 blades, and single bevels. Okay? And the goal is eventually to get to the point to where you are trying to completely pass through every single thing that you were shooting. And science shows that a single bevel broadhead, whenever it hits something, it twists, and they are known to be able to completely break through bone and still continue to keep going and pass out through the other side. Now, 3 blades, they leave bigger blood trails and stuff, not like necessarily like humongous differences, but they're known to leave more blood trails because the entrance, the entrance, it's a bigger cutting diameter. And then a 2 blade is more like, almost like a kind of straight line whenever it hits, it's almost like a slit. And the single bevel, it looks like an S, like an S shape going in, because it's, it hits and it turns. And as it's doing that, it's destroying everything that it goes through. And with that in mind, how does that relate? Well, the thing is, in my mind, there are different kinds of people in the world. You've got your 3-blade head, which more blood contact, it's easier to tune, it's, there's less effort involved, okay, with tuning that versus tuning like a single bevel. Now, a 2-blade head, it's a little bit more difficult to tune, it's a little bit more simplistic in the design. So imagine like a triangle, okay? And that triangle on either side, like if you look at either side of the triangle, these 2 points come together to create a blade. All right, a single bevel, one side of it is, at an angle like this, and this top part is what's been grinded down to create that sharp edge, and directly under it, it's a flat surface. Well, if you flip it over, then it's the same thing, just on the other side. That's where the S pattern is coming from in the cutting shape. All right? And those take a lot of work to get, perfectly tuned. I mean, everything has to be perfectly tuned. But once you achieve that perfect arrow flight with that single bevel, literally, as it's passing through, it breaks everything in its path. It destroys every obstacle in its path and ends up being on the other side, stuck in the ground. Okay? And that's what you're trying to do with your life as well. You're trying to basically get to a point to where any obstacle that you come across, you were able to just completely destroy and break through to get to the other side of where you want to be. Alright? So remember that. Don't be that guy that goes out here and buys this crap. Okay? I'm not saying this is a bad arrow. This is actually a really good arrow shaft that they don't make anymore. But, something like that is fine to go to the store and buy and, shoot in your backyard at some targets or even, about shooting in your backyard, shooting some targets, and kind of a quick and easy way to learn how to shoot. It's a quick and easy way to learn, to get outside and start shooting, okay? And it's it's just the easiest thing to do, to start shooting. But once you decide that it's time for you to go out here and hunt animals, you have got to be the most ethical and responsible person that you can be, because you owe it to the animal that you're pursuing to be that way. Nobody should want to be in a position to where they care or not about, humane killing of game animals. You should care about that. That's important. Okay? Like I said, it takes a lot of work to get that perfect arrow flight, but it's worth it in the end, because it's going to help your accuracy, it's going to help your judgment, it's going to give you the most possible best outcome by putting in the work to do it. And it's intimidating because, you got to have an arrow saw or a way to cut the arrows off and have them flush and level, and you have to have a lot of patience because you have to keep checking them to make sure that they're actually, that you are being consistent in your form. You know, like I said, if I take this arrow and I'm holding it like this and I try to push it through, it stops. But if I hold it straight, see how easy it was to push through? That's the whole point. That's the concept. All right, and like I said, you go to Walmart, you buy these arrows. Think of it as in like people that you go out and try to meet and date. Okay, like for example, say you go to a bar. I don't recommend that you meet people at bars. It's just birds of a feather flock together. Remember that. Birds of a feather flock together. Okay, and so if you go out there and you do stuff like that, you can't be mad at the result that you didn't get because you didn't put in the work to get it. That's very, very important. Okay? So that's just something that you need to think about. Alright? Well, either way, I love you guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification. And the album of the week this week is going to be Different Animals by a band known as Volumes. That was the first couple of songs playing at the beginning of the video. That whole album is really good. Either way, I love you guys. Peace.